Good evening, and welcome to Rock Truth Radio. I am your host, tHe, and we thank you for joining us as we rock truth or absolutely nothing at all. We live in a society today where truth, even before our very eyes, is consistently questioned, criticized, and altered to fit a person's ideology of God's original intent for the kingdom and for mankind. We believe that the Bible, our kingdom constitution, is inspired, infallible, inerrant, and the final authority for all. Rock Truth is founded on He who is the original point of reference for all things to come through eternity. RockSingle podcast is a cross-cultural response to the economic and social climate of today's relationships. RockSingle will teach you how to maneuver and still be kingdom-minded throughout your relationship experiences. Our aim is to help repair the fallen and broken man with the kingdom mindset. This podcast seeks to inspire, enlighten, and highlight upcoming and established local and international kings and queens of character while promoting kingdom consciousness and awareness of who we are and to whom we belong. This is indeed a kingdom renaissance. Welcome to the Battle of the Wheels, the Battle Royale. What's going on, fellow truthers? How are we?
Hey,
Good evening. Good evening.
greetings.
Yes. How was your day? How's everything going with you guys today?
Cool.
I'm good. I definitely can't complain.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So let's jump on right on into this. We have been starting the Battle of the Wheels. We technically started about 3 weeks ago, and then me and Doc kind of introed that thing on in with the foundation of precepts and concepts, which I thought was an amazing show because it actually questioned where you got the idea of the idea that you got. You know what I'm saying? Like, we cannot just keep settling for the fact that someone says this is the way in which something should go without having a reference point. You can't just say something and not have a solid reference point, a solid point of standard. You know what I'm saying? Anything outside of that standard point becomes superficial. It is fraudulent. It is not real. It is made up, my dear Watson. That's what it is. And so we have to get down to the precept of your concepts regarding relationship. And then we tied it in together with being unequally yoked and the importance of agreement. How can two people walk together if they do not agree? Before we jump into our main topics, let me get some feedback on those two. Tyron, give me some feedback on being unequally yoked and the importance of a precept prior to a concept.
Yeah, well, these days, if you're unequally yoked, it's really not good to be living together unequally yoked. Yeah, I suggest to the young people that they, everybody have your own house apartment, have your own everything. So you know what I mean. So when stuff don't go the way you wanted to go, you have yourself a place to go. Now here's something crazy. I want to say this real quick. I spoke to a young lady today. It kind of was like a really, she was trying to do an assessment on me at the gym, but it turned into me giving her a counseling session because she told me she was what she said I'm married. She said I'm married, but I'm not married, if that makes sense. I said no, it don't. She said, well, I'm illegally married, not legally married, if that makes sense. I said no, it don't.
No.
Then she said that I'm just not married according to the government, if that makes sense. I was like, yeah, that does. That does. I was like, I get your point now.
Common law?
But say what?
Common law?
Yeah, well, yeah, something like that. She said they had a ceremony and all that, but they just
Oh,
didn't sign no government papers, and
oh, dang.
she had the ring or whatever. And so
Okay.
and so
Ain't no
what followed up behind that was, well, I don't want to, we divorce. I don't want to have to, split everything up. I want to be able to take what's mine and he take what's his. I was like, well, you're not all the way fully vested. You're not
right.
fully vested into that man. You already thinking about being
Taking.
divorced.
You
You know
already
what I mean?
thinking about that.
Come on. So what kind of marriage is what kind of you talking about
Yeah.
foundation, precepts, and concepts. So here go the question: what kind of foundation is your marriage on?
Teaching. Teaching.
Don't make it certainly ain't on no solid foundation. It's on some, well, just in case type foundation.
Beneficiary type foundation. What can I get? The whole premise is what can I get? You went in that with it and you're trying to come out with it.
I'm gonna
So
say
that's
this.
how
I'm gonna
we
say this, then I'm done.
go ahead, Ken.
I know a woman that was married. She put her husband on child support while they both was married, while he was living in the house. I asked her, I said, why did you do that? She said, well, just in case he wanted to go down the street to Boquisha. And I said, what did the judge say? She said, the judge said the same thing. He was stunned. But as soon as she said, just in case he wanted to go down the street with Boquisha and have sex with her and have a baby, she said, I need to already be having some money coming to the house. She said, the judge hit the gavel. Boom, fair enough.
Then why are you go ahead, Jate? Please jump in here. Jump in, sis.
Oh
The water,
God.
the water is
Oh,
fine.
okay. So, oh God. All right. So the whole paper thing. For one, when she's talking about splitting anything, sweetheart, when it comes time for a divorce or God forbid that man pass away, that's what the paperwork is for. Guess what? You're going to get nothing. You're getting nothing because guess what? There is no record that you were his wife. And people be like, it's just a piece of paper, just a piece of paper. Now we know once upon a time in biblical days, we know that all you had to do was have a conversation with mom, the dad, if they approved. The townspeople came together, they gave a dinner.
Townspeople.
Now, yeah, I read it. They had it. They would have a dinner. Now, what does the Bible tell us? It's like a lot of people like, oh, well, the paper don't matter. That's something new that the man came up with. But doesn't the Bible tell us that we are to abide by the laws of the land? So now,
Absolutely.
because that is what the law is requiring us to do, I remember I had an elder in my church. God does not even recognize that marriage. Even though they had that ceremony, it is not. It's not complete. It is not complete. It is not
I like
complete.
that word. I like that term.
You know what
It's
I mean?
not
And I never thought about it like that because again, aren't we to, unless it goes against the will of God, we are to obey the laws of the land. And so if the law in your state is telling you that a marriage license is required, then you have not abided by the law in which wherever you live says you must do. And again, God forbid, even down to if that man doesn't die, if he becomes really ill and he can't any longer make decisions, they gonna be like, ma'am, I hear what you're saying. Oh, well, we've been together. I've seen it. We see it all the time. Oh, well, we've been together 20 years. That house is mine too. They,
Oh,
ma'am, I'm
once again,
sorry,
hey,
but they skipping, they looking right over you because we have no proof of what you're saying.
no, 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 no.
And
You
so if
didn't
he
know.
got some grown kids, guess
Yeah,
guess what? If he got had a wife before you,
that's going to hurt
common
too.
law is so she talking about having to split. They gonna have to split nothing because she ain't getting nothing unless she gets some documentation because the law does not respect that. Unfortunately, they do not acknowledge that.
It's not that it's unfortunate. It's just I wouldn't even call it unfortunate. It's just about
Yeah,
order.
not even unfortunate. It's because of what you decided you wanted to do. Because
It's
of
about
what you decided to do, yeah, you gonna be stuck like Chuck. You ain't got
yeah.
to worry about splitting
This
nothing.
is what we're doing. This is what we're doing out here. We're doing whatever we want to do as opposed to what he said. And when you're talking, this
Mhm.
really sounds like baptism in a sense to me because people like, oh, you got to be dipped in the water. You got now listen, hold on. Yes, it is symbolic. And being marriage, having these papers, all that, this is symbolism. However, if you can't get to the water, that's one thing. But if you have opportunity to get there, you should have got there. And so if you had opportunity to assure that you did whatever you were supposed to do for both of your citizenships, because you have dual citizenship here. You are a kingdom citizen, but you are also a United States citizen. You have to abide by the laws here and abide by the laws there, unless they compromise him.
Mhm.
Him. This is not a compromising him thing. You needed those paperwork,
Mhm.
and that's why you ain't gonna have nothing.
And from what it sounds like, Ty, it because and I've seen even people like, well, nah, because even with income tax, well, we married, but it's going to make things hard for us financially.
Sound like
So
that.
So
I'll
they're
expect
thinking about it just wrong. They're
But
thinking
that's
about it
because
wrong. So
he
there's a
got
lot of
child support that he running from.
right. So even with that, like you said, how are we going into this stuff thinking like, why are we already thinking, well, just in case we gonna protect ourselves? Then what are we really? Why are we doing it?
what are you doing?
If
Because
we
again,
already treating each other like we gotta protect each other from each other,
oh
that's the
Mary,
dumbest
Mm.
thing
Oh, that's a
I've ever
word right
heard.
there. We gotta protect each other from each
from
other.
come
Oh,
on, don't from each other. Don't get married. Don't get, and that's one thing that
Don't get married.
people are jumping the gun. You don't want you are jumping the gun. Ain't no time limit on this. There is no rush. If you feel like you got to rush, let me tell you something. That's because your affairs are not in order with God. There is still order. There is still formula. You can't jump in the middle of the formula and expect it to go right. Like seriously, you have to start back from the beginning. When it don't go right, it ain't no we're gonna fix and repair right here. No, you go back to foundation and you start that thing all the way over so that you end up with the right result. This is like order of operation. See how it all goes and ties around with the world.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? We talked about unequally yoked. We talked about the foundational concepts and the importance of. So let's go ahead and get into communication equaling relationship. Communication is relationship. The equal signs mean it's the same thing. It's one and the same.
yeah.
You can change the terms if you desire. That's like God, love, peace. All those you can place God's name in the midst of peace. You can place God's name in the midst of love. They're interchanging terms. So when you are communicating with someone, you are relating or you're talking to them again and again and again and again and again. It doesn't stop. The lading doesn't stop. It's a re. It's a re. So you
That's
can't
all I'm
just say,
gonna
okay, I'm
do.
done. I'm done talking to folks. I'm cutting folks off. This is the new thing right now. I'm done. This is council culture for me. Cutting folks off. He never told you that. He never wrote it one time. I'm watching preachers tell people to cut folks off. I'm watching your local pastor tell people to cut folks off. He never said that. What's
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Cut
Right in
us
the middle.
off.
I know, right? Stop that.
excuse me? I didn't even push the button. I didn't push a button. What is the precept to even that concept? You know what I'm saying? So relationship equals communication. The importance of communicating. I'll bring you in, Doc. Communication.
Well, for one, don't talk with cinnamon juju bees in your mouth. Because I was so about to take a bite, but I'm like, why? As soon as I take a bite of this, my mouth gonna be all juicy and sticky while she trying to have me say something. But that's how people be trying to talk to you with a mouth full of something, and you can't hear what they saying. They don't try and clarify. They don't try and make sure that you understood. Because me personally, even if you don't ask for clarification, I look at how you responded to what I said, and that's how I know you didn't know what I said. Because I know your response is not any type of response that what I said will warrant. So I'm like, did you understand what I said? And then they was like, yeah, because and I'm like, I don't know, because your response sounds like a whole nother subject. It sounds like nothing that could even be a part of what I said. Like in response to a rebuttal to a piggyback, like nothing. Like you on a whole different lane. So are you just making a new point or something? Or like, you asked for the clarification. Exactly. So if the other person isn't trying to get clarification of what you said, you ask for the clarification of what's going on. Like, are you just ignoring what I'm saying? Because people can do that too. They can just be ignoring what you're saying. Like, yeah, that's all good. But what I was saying was like, people do that too. But somebody got to get the clarification, okay? Because that's not communication if y'all aren't understanding each other. That's just talking at each other.
Teach. And again, going with communication is just about a message being sent and received. You don't have to say it a particular way. It don't have to be all, none of that. Just the message between the receiver and the person sending the message. As long as it's received by them and receiving that message, if you're the person sending it, you have responsibility to assure clarity is there. Ask, what did I just say? You would be surprised if you ask somebody to repeat.
You get
What did you just
like I didn't say that.
I never
That's not even
Charlie
what I
said
said
Brown,
backwards.
Charlie Brown's Peanuts.
try to wah, wah, wah,
No,
wah,
no.
wah, wah, wah. Like, I promise you, I said nothing like that. You'll say to yourself, like, who told you that? Why do you talk about yourself like that? I never mentioned that. I never mentioned that. And that's another thing too, is telltale signs. This is how you start telling on yourself. You sit back and let a person just talk
So
enough.
what you trying to say is no, no, because I don't try to say anything. I absolutely say what I'm saying, and I'm going to continue to say what I actually meant to say. Like, so if you think that, like, oh, what I said was an underhanded dig at you, you might need to check yourself on that one. Because trust me, if I have something to say about somebody, I'm going to say it directly to you and make sure you know that I'm trying to make you feel a type of way. So
Talking to you. I'm
you're
not
not gonna have to decipher no type of insults or nothing out of what I'm gonna say to you, because I don't do that. Like, I don't like people trying to do the passive aggressive, underhanded insult. Because I'm first of all, I'm too smart for that, and there's a very small number of people, if any, that can talk around me. So the fact that you're even attempting to insult my intelligence is gonna upset me anyway. So I don't do that to people because that's condescending. I don't like talking down to people, and I don't like people trying to talk down to me. So trust me, if I'm trying to insult you, you gonna know. You ain't gotta, you ain't gonna have to pick out like. So I pulled out my insult dictionary, and I think you don't have to think. You gonna know.
Come on now.
Says you coming straight in the middle, huh? You coming
Oh
straight
yeah,
with it.
because I want to see you do it. I want to see you do it.
Because it's about communication. My whole point is to communicate with you what is necessary in this moment, what is needed, X, Y, and Z, so we can move past and live like we should, live in the peace that we should. But right now we have a communication little hiccup. We need to go ahead, and a lot of relationships
Totally
is
agree.
because of communication. People be saying it's money, people be saying it's sex. It is not. It is a communication breakdown.
People not saying what they need to say when they need to say it, because that's another thing. Like, oh, this ain't a good time. No, if you say it when it happens, that's ain't no better time like the present. You don't have to wait for the right time. You don't have to wait for they to be in a better mood. If you address it right when it's a problem, then you're on the path to solution. And then if you get in the middle of addressing it, and then y'all trying to communicate, and then you realize, okay, look, it looks like we're not going to make any progress on this point right now, so we'll just talk about this later when we're both in a better mood.
Absolutely.
Then that's when you table it for another time.
Absolutely, because that's the thing. I'm gonna swing it over the top. Absolutely, when you talk in anger, this is just like parenting. If you cannot talk to your children in anger, wait. Again, ain't nothing expedient, and anything expedient ain't profitable. I mean, everything expedient not profitable. So take your time. If you are not calm enough to handle this communicate or handle this conversation, wait, quiet, then come back and then get it right. But you ain't got to let this sun go down. And if it takes you that much time to come back together and talk, you need to check yourself. There's something wrong with your response system, your inner response system. You should be ready to respond appropriately to somebody who is failing you, because they can be failed in communication. So somebody who's failing you, and it's not when they do it. It should be before, just like you were forgiven before you do the stuff. Tyron, come on, communication.
I'm gonna say this since you brought up the parent situation and working with kids. I've been working with kids for about 16 years. This year makes 16 years. And one thing I do is I say something maybe 2 or 3 times to see if they caught it. And so I kind of transfer that over into relationships when I'm talking to my ladies. I might say some, especially something that need to be emphasized a little bit more. I might say it maybe 2 or 3 times. But you know what I've gotten? You don't have to repeat yourself. I'm just making sure you heard me.
You see that?
I got it the first time. You ain't got to repeat yourself.
Okay, that's Mr. Sam out there. I was trying to figure out exactly who it is that was posting with us. He said you could say passive aggressive, and some people will be insulted because they don't know what it means. LOL. And then I believe in saying what I mean and letting them decide what's next. I'm done. That's king stuff right there. That's king queen
Yeah,
stuff right here.
facts, facts.
There's no reason to come on, man. We are grown. We are not in high school anymore. And if
Man,
you in
keep
high
it
school
up.
acting like that, where's your mama? Where is your parent? No, seriously, where's your parent? Like your parents should have resolve for you regarding everything. They were here before you. Like they were supposed to supply you with answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we really doing? Miss Jate, swinging back over to you real quick before we go back to Doc. Communication and relation and equals relationship.
Yeah, Doc, piggybacking off of what you said, I think even further, more than people not seeing it, like you said, seeing it when it's a problem and not, because a lot of times people do that silent treatment and I'm a stomp and I'm not going to say nothing, but you really feeling it and you going to let 1, 2, however many days go by and you think somebody's supposed to read your mind and you got an attitude over something that the other person don't know you got an attitude and then you upset that they not noticing you upset and you not even going to ask you what's wrong because it's nobody's job as an adult to pull things out of us. You know what I mean? But even further than waiting, people never address it. Think about, like Mary said, think about it. Oh, people just get divorced. And would it be irreconcilable difference? That just equals to we never talked about it. If a lot of times when it's funny because they say when they ask them, well, what was irreconcilable, that really just equals we don't really know. You know what I mean? We really don't know why we're in a divorce. We're just giving up. And
Yeah,
if it's like, well, did you guys ever try to talk about it? Did you address about? No, I'm just like Mary said, I'm just done with it. I'm just done with it.
Or they did and kept blaming each other for their own stuff.
For their
Exactly.
own,
For the stuff they
nobody
had
had
responsibility.
right. Nobody had adult communication. Adult communication. Communication will solve so many problems. Like you said, one, if people took the time to communicate, like you said, and then married people just like, and Ty, it makes me think about even way back when you said how the woman divorced her husband because she was like, I don't feel like I should have to, with the whole sex thing. Like people don't feel like, well, I shouldn't have to. Yeah, I shouldn't have to talk about it. They should just know. What do you mean? What do you mean you shouldn't even have to talk about it? And I shouldn't have to deal with this. But people don't want to do the work. Everybody want to, and I don't want to say that. They just don't want to. I don't know what they think it is. How can anything, okay, a house, doesn't it have to be built? A house, you don't snap your finger and it appears. A marriage has to be built first on God, and thank God, He's the foundation. But you still have to do the work to build, or it's not going to grow. That house never going to build if nobody wants to do the work. People lazy. People want to be in love, but they lazy. You can't be in love and be lazy.
Girl, you better stop.
And you can't put your man on sex punishment either. Okay.
That's so
ignorant. Because your body is no longer yours.
Why are you there?
So
Why are you there? If you are in any relationship, and I have to, because of course we're rock truth. Okay, we understand what's going on out here, but we have to go with rock of truth. So if you are in a marriage and you are with somebody that you do not want to have sex with, divorce. I'm talking about if you don't want to have sex with them at any point in time, you don't. Divorce. Why are you there causing problems? He done already gave you mandate. Please don't deny yourself ever to each other unless for that time of the month or for fasting that you agreed upon fasting. Woman, man, you can just
First Corinthians. Whole First Corinthians is spicy. and the Bible don't even sugarcoat that. It was like, I already know y'all some little horny jackrabbits running around here. So that's why y'all need to go ahead and get married. And then y'all gotta worry
because y'all gonna do it anyway. Because y'all gonna do it anyway.
My way. Just do it my way. And that's what I'm learning out here. Let me tell you something. Folks don't want to love. They don't want to love God's way. They want to love their way. They out here mad at God. It's folks out here mad at God, taking it out on man because he's a man. They mad at God. It's a lot of homosexual women who are homosexual because they had an experience with God that they didn't agree with. It wasn't a man. It wasn't a man, because all offenses are to God, and people be forgetting it. They be thinking like, oh, it was a man that did me dirty, and no. It is him and them.
Come
So if you mad
on.
at somebody, let me show you who you mad at. The cosigner. And see, the world got us thinking that a cosigner is somebody that fan your flames. That's not a cosigner. The cosigner is the person who is ultimately responsible. So when something happens in life and things have been going away in which, don't make it look like, oh, it wouldn't have happened if such and such. No. He uses your sin too. He signed that thing and said no. How about that? Take it up with him, but you're bitter.
Come on.
You're bitter and you're broken and you're mad.
Instead of
being,
paying attention to what your lesson was supposed to be, learning and
I'm
growing
not aggressive. I'm
and
not
and turning and getting on your
turn,
path.
my queen, my queen.
You took a detour and he said, wrong way. Had all these signs, stop, wrong way, you all of it, and you didn't pay attention to none of the signs, and now you didn't crash into the side of the mountain. That you had a road to climb up and over the mountain, and you didn't take that road. Oh no, you want to do something else.
And you're mad at the mountain. You're mad at the mountain. So before let's shift it a little bit because we were talking about marriages. Let's go out of these marriages. Let's go into the friendship zone and let's talk about communication there. And one thing that I've noted that I want to note here in reference to communication equal in relationship is know your role, right, and responsibility as a friend. When you're communicating on a friendship level, there are things that ain't none of your business. Knowing somebody else's business doesn't obligate you to be a friend. They ain't gotta tell you nothing. Folks be like, you should have told me. Told you, I'm not obligated to tell you
Friends do
nothing.
that. Friends do
Oh
that.
yeah, friends fall out over that. Oh,
Here's the
you
thing.
told her, but you ain't
told
tell
her,
me, and
but
I've been your friend since da 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 da. Like what?
you crazy.
Like she was there first of all. Like
Second of all, you talk too much. Every time I do, you can't hold water. So
Oh,
why
see,
would I tell you
this
anything?
is supposed to be a secret
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm
until
trying
I wanted to reveal it.
to. There's no rules or regular. People be trying to put in these made up rules, just like her common law marriage. These made up rules that they trying to do everything except what God said, which is just love. And what I've noted is that no matter what, if you're married, not married, you divorced, whatever, you're not ever gonna get around being that person's friend. Tyron?
It was something I was about to say.
I saw the face.
I wanted to say something. We're gonna get back to the friends, but I wanted to say, I know a woman. She said that it's a man that she likes, she talking to, but she said she know that he's not going to be able to satisfy her sexually or whatever. So she said she's gonna go ahead and she said that if she could, if they was to ever get married, she would, but she'll still have sex with somebody that can satisfy her. What y'all think about that?
Stop.
Throw
Just
it in the
don't.
trash.
Just
Mhm.
don't. Just don't. Just go try to be a good friend to the one that you would have and give up your goodies to every single time. Go work on yourself and how to properly relate to that king. Because this king don't why would you damage somebody like that? Why would you use
Well, I said,
Yep.
that's you.
somebody
That's using. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
to fill in the gaps of your own insecurities? That's all it is.
Yep.
I was gonna say this with friends. Now, being friends, you gotta be you gotta have a clear communication as to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let them know, hey, this is your place in my life. This is how we're gonna operate. This is how we're gonna do things. You know, you're not allowed to step over into this territory because that territory wasn't made for you. This right
That's
here is your territory.
right here.
When I
Go past
elevate
the
you,
red rope.
come on, that's it. This your
See what a
territory.
bouncer is? You're not on that list. Don't
The
even
truth.
approach him.
And,
Yeah,
and the thing about it too is, hey, stop pretending like you don't know that you are nothing more than a friend. Here's the signal. Here's the signal because everybody want to say it. Everybody be like, this my boy friend. See, the boy is the adjective. The friend is the noun. You understand that? Watch
You
this.
know what he said it.
We're gonna do it one more time because I know somebody missed it. Because I could see how you could be confused as to who you are and what role you play. Now watch this one. Watch this one. You are a girl friend. The girl is the adjective. and the friend is the noun.
No, but you know how they try and blanket it. They try and hide it. Be like, oh, this my man, this my woman.
Lies, because he don't
Like,
belong to you. So if it's yours, you see that word you're using. Now I know you're again not kingdom minded because you understand when you're in the kingdom that nothing belongs to you, not even yourself. So you can't say this is my man. That ain't yours. That's God's man. Come again.
So
Come
the
again.
so the young lady that's illegally married, that
oh
her
no, no,
husband,
no,
her husband ain't even her husband.
no.
It could be somebody else's. I don't know who's that is.
I mean, exactly. If he went through all the trouble, he done bought you a house, y'all done, and then he don't never propose to you. He probably definitely still married to somebody in some other state somewhere because it was cheaper to keep her.
I don't know how old he is, but I know the young lady. She young. She said she graduated out of high school 4 years ago, so she probably 21, 22, give or take. And probably her boyfriend, I mean her husband, he probably around the same age. Who knows?
Oh, it sounds like they too young to be trying to do any of that anyway. You know what I learned when I got to be 30 something, 20s are like you don't know a thing. Like I'm still struggling and I'm 30 something. Like when I was a kid, I thought people in their 30s was like grown, and they don't have a clue. I'm in that age group that I was looking up to people thinking that they was grown. Not a clue. You're supposed to spend your 20s figuring out what you're going to actually be building in your 30s. That's when you try everything, you fail at everything, you get your skills up, you learn, you go to school, you interact with people, you socialize. It's hard to do that when you have someone else's insecurities being extra baggage in your shopping cart. Like you can't interact with somebody. You got somebody side eye. You're like, well, why you in his face? Why he all cheesing and grinning at you? Well, why she always text me at this time? You don't have to worry about none of that if you're single. When you stay a single person, you're not trying to create something and do it. No, especially if y'all aren't married. Like,
they playing house. These people I still out here playing. Listen, we should have never started that game as children. We should have never started. It's a lot of games as children that we should have never started. But they were board games.
We didn't even have a clue what we was doing.
And making up stuff. And guess what? We've held on. There we go. You going to coming to America? I cannot. Held on to these ideas from childhood. I had a mentee who said to me, like, I'm realizing, and she's in her 20s, I'm realizing that the ideas that I had as a child, I'm still holding on to. And that's what we found. Let's not stop the buck at 30s. Like, oh, it's the magic number, or 40 is. I'm watching some 40-year-old fools, some 50-year-old fools, some 60-year-old fools, some 70-year-old fools. They been fools, they still fools, and they feel like, or rather, they're foolish enough to believe it's too late to go on and change. I might as well. I said into this.
Yeah, I didn't say that. Yeah, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Like,
oh, yes, you can.
Oh, so you a dog now?
Dog sleep. She said, "So you a dog now?"
You put the dog to sleep. Hold on.
Put that dog to sleep. Kick the dog out. The last dog I had, and I'm gonna go back to Jate real quick. The last dog I had, he was just this dog. It was something about this dog. This dog had a different attitude. You know what I'm saying? Had a different attitude. Hey, foot. And when I tell you this dog, like he would run. I had to chase this dog, bro. Had to chase this dog. And finally, the last time, I promise you, I looked at this dog. I'm at the door. I looked at this dog. I said, let me tell you something. You can stay or you can go. I opened that door. That dog looked at me. I kid you not, that dog looked at me and was out. Close my door. Get out. That's what it is you do. You have options here. Ain't nobody holding you hostage. You can stay or you can go. I ain't got to force feed you. I'm trying to feed you good, the quality stuff. You want the streets? You're for the streets. Stay in the streets is all I'm saying.
From the
streets. Real quick, just let me see what this comment is. We got I noticed Mr. Sam, he's saying, you know how people are, they want to put the piece of the furniture together without reading the instructions.
Man, be messing up the whole have extra screws. You're not supposed to have extra screws.
You're like, what's this? What you mean? What's this? You put it wrong, you put it together wrong, and then we'll get rid of it. Like, well, if it works. No. That means somewhere is some instability. That screw is for that. It's imperative. But this is what we do in life with instructions. He left his manual. He left his manual. We don't even know how to fully operate ourselves because we only know what somebody told us as opposed to reading how we totally properly function. I had pulled out, I'm sorry, just say I'm going coming to you. I had pulled out the stuff to put the cash register together and all of that stuff. And you know what I did for the first time? I'm not even playing. For the first time in my life, I sat there and I read the instructions.
Come on.
I read the instructions. I
Didn't it
normally
make
like
it easy?
a
You
lot.
saw all them pieces. You thought it was gonna be complicated, and it made it so easy.
Okay, because I sure was like, wait, what's this? Well, then what's this? Then what's this? And I said, Mary, we gonna keep doing this? When I got my iPhone, I think it was last year, the year before, I don't even know. I did not read it. I jumped right into it, and now I'm on Google. I'm on YouTube learning new things about what
Because
iPhone
the
can do.
whole time, I swear I thought you had an Android.
I do. I got both. One is for the I got two phones, literally one for the plug and one for the
Plug.
law. It
Yep.
really is like Kingdom Laws here, and then this is
Plug.
technically the plug. Like
That's it. One for the plug, baby. That's it.
I just said, I'm out here. I'm out here. They people ain't just hustling hard by themselves. Multiples of anything can be difficult. We learned that with math as a kid. Come on now. Multiple relationship don't add up to nothing or anything. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. Jate. Communication equals
Hey,
relationship
Jay.
in a single in singleness in friendship.
So communication, and we've said this so many times, is so important, even in the friendship, before you even begin to think about, because we think about, we say unequally yoked, and we think about, oh, gotta be both be believers. No, that means a lot of things. Okay, what do you want for your life? Learn these things as a friend, because y'all could absolutely be both believers, but the reality situation is to have conversation, get to know each other as a friend. So he might want kids, you might not want kids. You might want to stay in your hometown forever. He might want to. Communication solves all these things. Just like unequally, you might be business minded. He might not be with it. He might want his wife to be a stay at home. So communicating, having conversations about that equally. He might be family oriented. You're not. These are things that need to be communicated before we get into marriage, because now it's like, oh, now we married, I'm finding out all these things about her that I didn't know. Why didn't you take the time to find out? And vice versa.
Come on.
And don't get me wrong, we are going to be forever learning each other. Like you said, Mary, communication never stops. The people that are blessed to still be married 65 years, it's like, listen, yeah, I know her, but every day I'm continuously learning.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why? But back with the instruction thing, think about it, because ain't it, nobody wants to take the time to read the instructions. They just want the product.
Teach.
So again, but doesn't, okay, so we're trying to save time by skipping over the instructions, but at the end of the day, doesn't it benefit us? So we really trying to step up this very important step, trying to thinking we're helping ourselves. But like you said, now I ain't gonna lie, I don't think I can't say it first time for reading all instructions. So I done picked the desk together, but how long is it going to last? So we got the marriage, we got the situation, but how long is it going to last? It looks good, but we have not properly taken the time to put it together. So like you said, we're going to run into some problems. So at some point, we're going to find ourselves back at the beginning when we didn't have to. We could have did this thing in proper order.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I totally agree. And I love what you brought up, the point about being unequally yoked. And someone had asked me a question, is like, what are we supposed to agree? I thought people are supposed to, be alike. You're supposed to agree on things. What does that truly mean? And here's the thing. We say it on the show every single day, that the Bible is inspired, infallible, inerrant, and the final authority. That's it. This is where we agree, because it don't matter what situation comes up. We know where to turn for final authority, for standard, period. We know order. So as long as we agree there, who cares if you want to go to the pony show and I like to go watch art? I will go with my friends. It ain't got to be like that. We ain't got to be all on each other and go. No, that's the whole point of me having other friends. And you shouldn't have an insecurity where I can't have friends. I can't have friends. This was part of the precepts that men and women can't be friends, and you got only married people can have married friends. Well, that mean I can't never go have a job. I can't never have a job, then. I can't go no. I mean, this is sick. It's sick because people want to be manipulative and controlling. And again, they're rushing, moving too fast, don't want to handle the things at step one. And then you're omitting everything and you're undone. You have relationships that are now undone. Why would you want a meal that's not fully cooked? Speaking of meals, come on, Doc, come on through with it.
And I love that Ty brought that up. He said the word that comes to mind is competition. That's the whole point. If you are equally yoked, you can't compete where you don't compare. You don't compare. You cannot compete in something like I'm not finna go to no Iron Man competition because I know I ain't at that level of fitness. I don't move that much. I don't even jog. Don't get it twisted. No, I don't. So why would I go and get in an Iron Man competition to what? To fall off the monkey bar? That's about how you gonna see me be able to do. So these are, and then feel some type of way about the other people who can compete, who are winning, who out there starring it up, and that's what happens. You get with somebody that you had no business being with, and then you try and be like them or do what they are doing better than them. Why? Well, you're supposed to be doing your own thing anyway. They're supposed to be doing what they're doing, and you're supposed to be doing what you're doing. If y'all are in similar areas, like if I get with somebody that's in nutrition and fitness, we can't outwork each other because it's going to help us both, for one. And for two, I can't work out for him. My workouts ain't going to put muscles on his body. What he eats ain't going to drop belly fat off of me. You still have to do your own work. How are you competing with somebody and you have to do your own work for yourself? Make it make sense. But people do it all the time. Like when they partner or who they interested in or who they trying to link themselves to is getting promotions, they making more money, they're progressing. But for one, they're probably putting forth the work and the effort in the field. Two, that fits their set of skills. And three, that they're passionate about. So of course they're going to see greater progression. If you sitting somewhere and if you are content where you are sitting, why are you worried about them progressing? Oh, because you think they're gonna leave you behind. That kills me. They gonna leave me behind. Well, why would they do that?
Right. Again, that's your insecurity.
Do you not think that you're valuable enough to go along for the ride? People, especially when people are moving that fast in their career, I'm gonna let y'all in on the secret. They don't necessarily want somebody else that's making the same amount of moves because guess what? You can't support them if you moving just as fast as they are. They will value your support more than any type of money you can put in a bank account, more than any promotion you can get at a job. I guarantee you, when they have to spend them late nights at the office, and they're gonna prefer that you are able to already have everything set at home. The kids, if y'all got kids, are in the bed. The food is cooked. Even if you can't stay up and have dinner with them, that they know that they can come in. They don't have to spend extra time doing all of this stuff for themselves on top of the time that they had to spend progressing their career. Just like with Tabitha and her husband. They took turns. He went and did something that wasn't necessarily on the plan for him and his goals because she needed to put a lot more time and effort into what she was doing. So he had to be the stable one. Once she got to where she was going, now she's in a position to where she can support them in a way that he doesn't have to go and put extra effort outside of the home in a career where he's not fulfilled. Now he can put his time and effort into something that fulfills him. That is what a healthy marriage looks like. I love when people put healthy examples out there for us to see. And then you, of course, you got the people that's hating and want to come and say, well, what she means she want to retire her husband. That means that she loves her husband for all of the work and sacrifice that he put in for 15 unplanned years. She said 5. It took 15. These were 10 extra unplanned years, and he did it with love.
Come on.
And so, of course, I can't wait to retire my husband from something that he was doing to support. What? Watch out. Watch out.
So I can't wait. I can't wait to support. I can't wait to help. That's our job. I'm trying to fill in whatever blanks necessary to make sure King get whatever needs to be done for this kingdom. It ain't about me. Trust you me. If I'm marrying a friend, already know he's going to invest back, just like you're saying with Tabitha. It can be alternating. That works for them. Whatever that method is, work for you. But note what she said. Health relationships, health people. That's what we're seeing. We have healthy people who are one whole complete. They mastered singleness. They don't have egos. They're not full of ish themselves.
Come on.
Because that's what we're finding people that you're just full of yourself. And that's worse than being full of crap. You're full of you.
Facts. I'm with you on that.
You know what I'm saying? So communication equaling relationship, making sure all communication efforts are there as a friend and not a foe. You have to determine who you are. You have to be sensitive to your friend's need. I'm just saying, like she was saying, like, what's wrong with wanting to assure that your friend is cared for and concerned about? Making sure if they going out there working and stuff like that, making sure they come on. I'm just talking to the queens right here. Like for real, because I know we be out and doing our thing, but hold on, we have obligation number one. I mean, like the whole thing with Monica Lewinsky and all that stuff, because the failed mission number one. Ain't nobody moving outside. If you handle business number one, instead of putting your career before number one,
come on,
you gotta get back to your first love, or rather, it's the second for you, but same deal, because the cross to your home, it becomes your first. You have to make sure. Again, he went to work, man. Hey, man, make sure when he come home, it's peace. Our job is recreating peace, the atmosphere that's conducive for the growth of
sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary was the hunchback when he was.
Come on. I'm just saying, y'all can have a youth rally meeting with all the children. He come home. Oh, daddy here. Yes. Woo. Dad's here. Great. All right. Get them children moving around. Because you also know what it's like when you come home from work. You ain't trying to see all the children. I mean, not all of them. Come here, hugs. All right. But okay, I need a moment.
Somebody tried to argue with me on my own show and tell me, don't be surprised that when you start having kids, things don't go your way. I was all it is as far as keeping that house quiet when I'm getting ready to take a nap.
So you trying to say ain't no order in this house? Are you telling me because you have children it lacks order? I've seen a home. Let me tell you about order, and I'll let us all close out real quick. I seen a home that has white furniture. They got children. Ain't a spot on it. Don't tell me the children come and you can't discipline them. Your whole job is you got one job. Where's that button? You got one job. Tyron, let's go ahead and get ready to close on up out of here. Hit us with communication equals relationship, battle of the wheels, battling the battle royale, battling of the wheel, yourself against not your significant other, not your friend, but against God.
Oh wow, this is this is a great topic. I won't lie on that. This was a great topic. I enjoyed it. The thing is, when I was talking about the competition, is that thing is a lot of us we are in competition with ourselves, and so if we already in competition with ourselves, here's a question for you: do you really want to compete with somebody else? If you already compete with yourself, now you want to compete with your significant others, or do you want to come together and commingle and what I'm saying and try to join in together and be one? I know of a couple young ladies, she on my Facebook page. Her and her husband, they used to do a lot of live videos together, but they so busy now doing other projects with each other. And I remember she came on Facebook and was like, and like she was really sincere. She was like, I think she was singing and dancing in a musical, and she was like, I really like the fact that my husband goes backstage with me when I'm doing my rehearsals or anything, and he cheers me on and he encourages me to keep doing what I'm doing. Her husband, he is a personal trainer for like professional athletes. He said, I really enjoy when my wife come with me to my training sessions when she could be doing a whole bunch of other things, but she likes to come with me to my training sessions and she helps me She cheers me on. She go grab me water, whatever, or whatever, while I'm training, and she's in my corner. That's what non-competition looks like,
Come
being
on,
there
T.
for the other. But what I was wanted to say is that I see that in a lot of relationships these days, and I talk to a lot of young people about relationships. They don't understand that it's just me, 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 I. But what about them?
Yeah, yeah,
So Mary, this was great topic. Battle of the Wheels, unequally yoked. Get with you somebody that you can build with, that you bond with. Also, communicate. Let them know. Be upfront and straightforward about things. Do not
yeah.
be afraid. Let them know upfront, like, hey, this is this is all I want. This is what I'm about. You might meet this person today or tomorrow. Like, you know what? I would like to be your friend. I would like to take this more. I would like to, see where this can go. Don't say, oh, let's just go with the flow. No, we ain't going with the flow. We're gonna say, you know what? I really could see you in this position in my life. Come
See,
on, I can see you really in this position in my life. You know what I'm
for
saying? And
real.
I want somebody to feel that if you can feel this position, it's yours.
Teach,
Thank you.
teach,
Shout
teach.
out to RockSingle. Shout out to y'all.
Real quick. Thank you. Shout out to you, Lord Ty. This is Mr. Sam. He said, if I got a battle, I'm out. All I want is Kookawa. I know that's right, King. Hey, we in that thing. Coming up next Thursday. It's what they call it, a shameless plug. Coming up next Thursday, Rock True Fitness. Oh my God, Core and Kookawa. Core and Kookawa will be doing that. But then he also says, 4:30 to 5:30 at the Hudson Campbell. I'm sorry, Gary, Indiana. Kings should encourage queens, whether they are married to them or not, period. And that's friendship. Like, wouldn't you encourage your friend when you build them up anyway? Like, not to get nothing or something out the deal? I guess. Mr. Tay, final thoughts.
So I'm gonna close with that when you reference Tabitha and her husband. I and when I tell you I wanted to high five her, and you heard like you read all these ignorant comments, but that goes back with the concepts and the precepts. Well, he went. I'm not supporting no man. Blah blah blah. First of all, that goes back to what Christ did for us: sacrificial love. Y'all
See,
are going, y'all have these wrong ideas. Why would you forget a man, forget his gender? Why would you not want to support your friend? Why would you not want to support another person, especially after they have done it for you? But like I said, I, and like you said, benefit. What can I get? If you want to continue to be self, because see, people be like, I'm not selfish. I do stuff for other people. No, selfish when you are more worried about yourself than any other person, as the Bible tells us, you are selfish. I don't care what you do for other people.
yep,
You are selfish because you are self-centered.
yep,
And it's
yep.
like these roles and men and women. Who the heck made that crap up? Who made that up?
This? Who did
That's
this?
the dumbest crap. Like Doc said, man, if I can, you dang right. Why wouldn't I? Nah, I'm not finna do that because what it's gonna look like, and he's supposed to be the man, and I'm not finna support. What? I'm gonna do
What?
whatever I can for my friend,
Come on.
Teach,
and that's
teach.
why y'all out here the way y'all out here. Period.
Yeah.
They out here loose that a mug.
Mm. Yeah, off of what Jate saying, they're
Oh,
mad because they've been doing it for the wrong people for the wrong reasons. They did
see?
not communicate with this
Yeah.
person. They don't know what this person's intentions are. They assume because they didn't gave up situation or whatever. They didn't let them all in their loving bed. They didn't did all of that, so they think that this person it has their best interest in mind or whatever. Like, no, this person is for the streets. They out here for themselves, and then you up here throwing all your money and stuff into whatever it is that they claim that they doing or that they need or whatever. And whole time they going and spending it on the person that they actually trying to get with, and then
See?
now you feel dumb because you didn't clarify your role in their life. You didn't find out what your actual responsibility was to this person and whatever y'all had going on. And that is a you problem.
That is
That is always a you problem. And then people make the you problem someone else's problem. No, you can't make how you feel someone else's fault. You can't
Mhm.
make the choices of your actions be someone else's fault.
Teach.
Yeah, there may be deception and stuff, and there may have been stuff that you didn't know. However, if you didn't ask for clarification, then you were asking to be deceived. If you
Teach.
had asked like, oh well, why is it that every time this, that, and the third, you ask for money, or like you can ask those questions because you're the one that's giving the money. So I'm trying to figure out like you just giving them the money without asking what it's for, and so then you can see the fruits of like, oh well, I gave you the money for blah 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 blah, and I still ain't seeing you with it. Like, what's going on? And then you can kind of tell from there that they didn't use the money for none of what they said they were going to use it for. And then you can decide from there, like, okay, they were deceiving me with their mouth, but they can't deceive my eyes. Okay. You ain't seen it. So now you know how to move forward with whatever choices you make from there. Because you can't always just go off of what people say. You have to take into account their actions, and you also have to take into account what it is that you are actually willing and able to do. If you are willing and able to give them whatever without asking for or expecting it back, then do that. Don't expect something residual from it if you weren't expecting it on the front end when you gave it. If you
Teach.
were giving it out of the kindness of your heart, then it should still
It's,
be received
that's
out of
it.
the kindness of your heart.
That's it.
Don't be like,
That's it.
oh well, I gave you this much and da da da. Like, okay,
Did you? Oh, did you? See, that's when you know you didn't do that from a
Mhm.
pure heart. You did
Come
that.
on,
You did that expecting to get.
bringing up
yeah,
receipts. That's
Now,
receipts, ain't
you
right,
do that, yeah, and people do that. People do that. People be
See,
trying to put all this stuff in the bank just so they can come and take from the bank
Come
when
on.
it's time. No, that's not the investments he's telling you to
nah,
take. You
nah,
say you take an investment and you more than likely won't get it back from that person.
right,
I got it for you because I'm gonna give it to you, and you never know who else I'm gonna send to give it to you as well.
Today,
Let's go ahead and get ready
exactly.
to get on out of here. I do want to address first of all, let me say hi to Miss Danye. Hey, Miss Danye, love you, Queen. I do want to bring up the point that Tyron made. Because you guys have just pretty much closed out the show. It's really not much to say, but what you did bring up was a very imperative point. Let me tell you why everybody out here in their feelings and their emotions because you omitted law. What is the law? No fornication. You are fornicating with your friend, which brings about these possessional emotions that have no place in friendship. Friendship should be honest and pure. It should come from a pure source, not a sexual one. You could feel it in your body. You're hypersexual and you lack self-control. You can feel it. You can feel it. You need control over yourself. Let me the main reason we have people killing each other, killing themselves, fighting, being possessional. This man, this my man, this because you slept with him. Because
come
you
on,
slept.
come on.
Even if you never even opened your legs to them, don't forget it starts in the mind. He said in mind and in deed. Don't play with him. Don't play with God on this. I'm trying to get the light on. Don't play with him because you try to be slick and throw some stuff. And again, like Doc was talking about earlier, he covered everything in the Bible straight up. He ain't about to sit here and try to play like you playing like you ain't fornicating. This is why he's trying to tell you don't do it. And you think it's just because he hating or you don't even know I gotta have it. Your preference. And this ain't about your preference. It's about his purpose. And he telling you in order to function, your body to function properly, you should not have sex with people prior to marriage. Everything that you have in relationship currently is a result of the fact that you are omitting law, you are fornicating. This is the result of. I want to thank you guys. Let me see what we got out here. Is this the private chat? Okay. Okay, I thought it was the other chat. Let me see. Real welfare is someone that's willing to offer, give what is necessary to ensure someone they care about is always well. Thank you, Mr. Salmon. We're gonna end on that note. What a friend. Not that we have in Jesus, but that we have in each other. All right, guys. Rock single, master singleness, master you, or absolutely nothing. at all, y'all. Don't forget. Oh. Saturday, we're gonna be at the Feast in the First, Philly, Indiana. Come out, guys. We're gonna be having our infamous raps and our famous, or rather, I like to say, infamous Rock Truth fruit bowls. Everybody going crazy over there. Let me tell you something. They are delicious. They are amazing. When you get the one with the granola and the yogurt, it's just a whole little. It's like a thing. It's just like a thing.
It's
So
a vibe.
don't forget, check us out. Thank you, Mr. Sam. Love you too, brother. Can't wait to see you on Saturday. I hope anybody who's in area, come on out and support us and just come see us. Just come say hi. All right, guys. Rock single are absolutely nothing at all. Peace. Till next week.